and welcome back to the Microcenter podcast, where we will be talking about tech, news, and everything Microcenter.
Yeah.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah, it's been quite some time, I think.
Yeah, we got a little busy there, but we wanted to bring the podcast back. We think this is a good format where we can cover a lot of different topics. We can talk about a lot of things, and
Yeah, things that we wouldn't normally dedicate an entire video to, we can touch on for a couple minutes.
right. I think it makes it a lot easier to cover a big breadth of topics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have a bunch of fun topics in store for you today. We're going to dive into a whole bunch, but first, we just want to talk about what's new at Microcenter. Well, the biggest one is
Priority Care Plus, I think.
that's the one. It's a new membership that we have at Microcenter that you can sign up for. And what's really cool about it is that you get 1 terabyte of cloud storage that you can get on your phone, your mobile device, back up all of your files. It also includes free diagnostics.
Yeah, and you don't even have to have bought the machine from us. You could have bought it anywhere, and we'll still do free diagnostics on it.
So that means any issues that you have, you can come to our knowledge bar. They can take a look at that for you. It comes with a whole bunch of other benefits as well, which you can check out on our webpage at microcenter.com. Just look up Priority Care Plus, and we'll have a link in the description below. And then some of the other new things is the studio itself.
Yeah, I've noticed a new set, and there's been a lot of changes in this one.
Yeah, we modified this one a little bit. I think it's a lot different than the last time we did a podcast episode.
Oh, yeah.
Also, we finally figured out our setup for this because we kept putting it off. Like, we would work on it for like a day and then put it off for like 6 weeks and then work on it for like half a day.
And then we had we undid everything and then redid all of the cabling.
Right.
That took like 2 days, which was insane.
Actually, we spent a lot of time fully doing the cable run in this. You can't see it here, but we'll insert a picture maybe
or something. Yeah.
So we're using the PTZ, the Move 4K cameras, actually.
Yeah.
And we're getting full 4K.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's all directly into our editing machine over there,
right?
Which we can switch. We can switch back and forth in OBS, and they're all powered over PoE, which is super handy.
And then to make the setup even more complicated, they're controlling it. Adam is in the other room controlling everything over there, so we can switch between the 3 different cameras that we have set up. And then we have an A10 Mini over here. So I have the Microcenter homepage up on my laptop, so you could show that. And then with the A10 Mini, are you number 2?
I am number 2.
So I could switch back and forth.
And yep, I'm clicking on the Apple sales event.
There we go. So now we can show 2 different laptops simultaneously. This seems so overly complex, but well, because we thought it'd be easier if we controlled the laptop feeds, because we wanted to show you a bunch of different things, and just having the laptop feed seemed easiest. And we also brought our bench over, because we're going to do a live demo of something.
Oh, yeah.
In a minute. So we had to get the feed for that too.
Yeah. So that's actually number 3, which right now is blank because it's off, but.
Oh, that's true. And then number 4, we have room for one more. We can plug in one more thing.
We could plug in one more thing, but I don't know what we would plug in.
We'll figure it out.
We'll find something.
Okay. So the studio's gone through a lot of changes. We've redesigned and redecorated some of the different rooms. We also added our new room that we've been doing content in as well.
Yeah, I really dig that set.
That one's
more of a lifestyle.
So you could see some of the videos we did recently with some of our laptops. I think we did a monitor video. Sean did a video recently. And so that was kind of like more of a laid back look.
Yeah.
The no RGB. That was the stipulation.
That's the rule. There's no RGB on that set.
Let's see this. I thought this is eclectic.
Yeah.
And that was meant to be calming. So anyway, it's been a while since we've done one of these episodes, and we just wanted to touch base on just sort of what we've been up to. Obviously, we've been working on a lot of content. There's been a lot of launches.
Oh my gosh, we've been super busy.
I know, it's been nuts. CES, we did go to CES this year, and I know it's like 3 months ago now, but yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff there, and some of which we'll talk about today. Some of the things that we saw that we're actually going to be getting pretty soon.
Yeah.
I got to go to the NVIDIA keynote. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I got to watch that, not there, but remotely, because I had to do the screen recording for our post about it.
Right.
But it was pretty cool. I can only imagine what it would have been like actually being there.
It was the line was really long.
Was it?
The line was really, really long. Dan was getting footage running up and down the line. Like getting shots of how long. And we got there I thought we got there on time, but we got there it was already around the corner. But by the time we went in, the line was fully wrapped down the arena building.
Holy moly.
It was super long. And then the best part about it was immediately after the event, everyone was in the hallway shooting content. Like literally every single like tech influencer, journalist, like every single person was in the hallway, all doing it simultaneously.
I mean, that makes sense. I've been to CES before, and seeing all of the people covering the same things day in and day out is very interesting. But you can't walk 10 feet without tripping over some professional camera.
I
Like,
know. And it's just bumping into like so many different creators, like people we work with, like Mr. Easter. Like, oh yeah, I just kept bumping into like all these people, like, hey. Very overwhelming. Speaking of which, Mr. Easter,
mhm.
spoiler alert, our next episode is gonna have Mr. Easter. He's gonna sit down with us. Adam will come and he's gonna sit with us. We're just gonna chat and hang out. So I think that'll be a cool one.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. He's a super nice guy.
if you have any questions that you want to ask Mr. Easter when he shows up,
Oh yeah,
leave them in the comments below.
yeah,
And we'll be sure to ask him. All right, so launches. That's part of the reason why we've been so busy.
yeah.
It has been nonstop launches for the
Yeah.
past couple of months.
And it's not even just the day of the launch that we're busy. We're busy planning all of the marketing for launches, and we're busy just making sure that we can do everything in our power to get. And you're gonna cut that out.
Yeah, we're gonna cut that out. We've been crazy with launches the last couple of months.
Yeah, it's been absolutely insane.
It truly has been insane.
Yeah, I mean, we had to prep for weeks before a launch even happens. It's just crazy.
Well, okay, so with all the launches going on, where does the timeline start? Does it start with the 5090? Because that was a big one.
I think so. I think honestly, I think it starts with CES for the announcement of the 50.
Right, because that's when they announced all the 5000 series of cards. And then they had 5090, 5080.
5070 Ti and 5070. Was that the same day?
No,
I can't remember.
No. So it was the 5070 and 9070 XT were one day apart.
Oh,
So that was like back to back. Where
that's what that was.
we were at the store talking to a bunch of people coming in. So there's a lot of people that came in for the 5070, a lot of people that came in for the 9070 XT.
Yeah.
Like it's just been absolutely packed. Like microcenter has been packed with people the last few months just trying to get their hands on.
Lines like I've never seen before. It's insane.
It was wild. Well, no, it was really cool. I got to go to testing. I got to talk to people there. So that was actually like a lot of fun just to interact with everyone, talking about tech and talking about games and all the other fun stuff.
Oh yeah, and you meet some really interesting people in line. We saw a guy there that was just excited to have spent like the last 10, I think, hours with his son standing in line. But like, yeah, he's a super nice guy, and like you meet a lot of really nice, genuine people waiting in line for those.
So when I talked to when I think it was the 9070 XT launch, she was really excited because she was like art design, graphic design, something like that. And yeah, it was an upgrade for her. So her and her boyfriend came and they were both getting upgrades. Actually, I think he got a 5080.
I think he did get a 5080 and she went for the 9070 XT.
Yeah. Like, yeah, we game together, but like she wants to do productivity. I want to do gaming and yada, yada. So they like made a whole morning out of it.
That's awesome.
That was kind of cool. And speaking of the 5000 series of GPUs, so we just recently did an update to our studio PC.
Oh yeah.
So we did that video with Kevin, our videographer, who does all of our video stuff.
Yeah. And I know that's going to come in handy. It's with a 5080, isn't it?
It was a 5080.
Yeah. That's going to be great for transcoding. That feature is absolutely incredible, especially for H.265.
Right.
Wow. So much better.
Yeah, that's going to be, so you get the hardware acceleration there. We went with the Intel Core Ultra 9, 285K. We did get a lot of comments of people asking, why didn't we go with a 9950X 3D? Because like, yeah, you have that dual CCD, one with the V-Cache, one that's good for like, they call it the performance CCD or the performance one. I forget.
I don't remember.
No, because it's like one's for gaming, one's for performance. But we're not gaming with this PC.
Yeah,
like that's the thing.
A pure productivity machine. And Intel also has really good transcoding capabilities too. So
yeah,
I don't know if that stacks, but I mean, what's it hurt?
Well, what we were running into, I think, is like hardware support in general, because you do get the hardware support for Intel QuickSync. With DaVinci Resolve, the NVIDIA stuff was showing up on 19.1.4.
Okay.
But then we were looking at Premiere and it looked like that wasn't there yet. So there might be an update.
Hmm.
And this might already be old information because this was like 2 weeks ago when I was trying to get it
Yeah.
working. And they might have changed it by then. But I know that like when it comes to new GPU sets and new driver sets and also new program updates, it's kind of like a trifecta of updates where you just kind of got to play the waiting game for a minute
Yeah.
and then you get everything that you need.
Yeah.
So, obviously you have the hardware acceleration there. Adobe's got to release their end,
Yep.
right? The drivers, they have to release their end. And then once everything melds together, then you get everything you need. So,
Yeah, absolutely. That thing's gonna
and we put I think it was 192 gigs of RAM in that guy.
holy moly. I don't even that's definitely overkill. Like
Yeah. I mean, we had it left over from one of our benches
oh yeah.
because I was trying to upgrade the benches soon and I wanted to make them match.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it just doesn't seem like I needed 192 for both. So I was going to buy another set. So I just, kept them the same. And I was like, well, I have the set. It's going to go in Kevin's PC.
Well, Premiere is notoriously memory hungry if he ever ends up using that.
Next too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, you could really eat into that. But also like a 5080, 16 gigs. No. Yeah. 16 gigs of VRAM or it's 24 now.
I believe it 16. We've had to learn so many graphics cards in the last month and a half, 2 months that it's hard to remember all the specifics.
It is 16 gigs. Okay.
Okay.
And even the 5080, we went with the 5080 for that, 16 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah.
4080 before, same amount of VRAM, which frankly, 16 gigs is like fine for video editing.
Oh yeah.
And I even did a video last week on that 5090 laptop, the Asus ROG Scar 18.
Yeah.
It doesn't fill all the VRAM when you're doing exports or when you have the program open. I think if you go crazy with your nodes on the color tab, or if you like go heavy into Fusion,
That would make a lot of sense. Or heavy into like After Effects or something.
right?
Yeah.
I'll eat more into that VRAM, but like 16 gigs, like that's more than enough. 32 from a 5090 would be nice.
Yeah. I think it's hitting the encode and transcode a little bit harder than it is the actual VRAM for video editing anyway.
Yeah. So it's 5090 would be really great, but also like we don't need that with this one. 5080s, that's going to work for pretty fine. But on the other end of the spectrum, actually, I'll pull up the page here. So that Asus ROG Scar.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can navigate my way over there. Actually, we have a bunch of 50 series laptops now. So we have some with the 5090 and some with the 5080. And the update to the 5090, at least the laptop GPU, because it is a laptop GPU, right? It is different than the desktop GPUs.
It's different silicon.
So it's 24 gigs of VRAM versus 32 gigs of VRAM in the desktop version for the 5090. But the Asus ROG Strix Scar 18, that was actually pretty cool. That was actually a pretty powerful laptop. I mean, I had it for like a day because I had to send it to the store because that was their display unit. So I got the laptop at like 10 a.m. I spent like an hour and a half setting everything out, downloading everything. I got the games. I got like DaVinci. I got the project files, all the updates. And I think I just sat with it for about 4.5 hours, 5 hours. But like the games I tried was really great.
Flawless.
The performance was pretty good. I mean, obviously, like I had DLSS on. I was still using some of the frame gen features as well.
Yeah.
Like crazy frame rates in Cyberpunk.
Well, I mean, you would want to do that anyway, just for battery life on a laptop. You don't want to hit your GPU as hard as you absolutely can if it's not plugged in. So I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Honestly, I would call them more mobile desktops. 18-inch laptop, it's pretty beefy.
It's a big boy.
I mean, what do you got? That's a 13-inch circuit, right?
Yeah, this is a 13-inch thin and light.
What is this? I think
that's a 15-inch.
This is a 15-inch Dell XPS, which has been like kind of my work laptop for a while. And then I jumped back and forth between this and the bigger Surface. What was that, 14 inches?
No, that's a 15.
That was a 15-inch as well. So I jump around between those. But then once you go to like an 18-inch laptop, it's like, it's a hefty boy.
Yeah.
But like also, it was powerful.
Yeah.
Especially with like DaVinci. I did some stuff with DaVinci Resolve and some video editing. And like, I was talking about Kevin's studio PC. That laptop is literally as powerful as his desktop.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it has as much RAM as we talked about earlier, but other than that,
it had 64 gigabytes of RAM.
Still
and
plenty.
Kevin's has 192. But that 192 is also overkill because that 64 or 128 is really all he needs
Yeah.
for the studio piece.
But it's insane that you can fit that much power into such a. I mean, you said it's a big for a laptop, but it's still pretty small considering that's a full desktop.
It fits in a bag and you could take it with you. Like,
Yeah.
if we're going back to CES or if we're going to Computex or we're going somewhere else, like you could actually take that with you.
Yeah.
So, editing on the go like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, gaming laptops are great for video editing. That's actually one of my first video editing computers was a gaming laptop. This is a long time ago though. I think it was like a 960M I had in there.
I had in 2018, I bought a Dell, it was a gaming laptop. I can't remember the model number, but it was a Dell gaming laptop. I was using that for video editing. I think it was like a 1660.
Wow.
Was the GPU. But then you have to keep in mind, I was coming from a 2011 iMac.
I'd say that's an improvement.
So yeah, it was an improvement.
Yeah.
Me. And I was able to game again. So that was a big leap.
The 1660 came out in what, like 2020, 2019?
I bought this laptop in 2018, right? So this
then I'm way off on my timeline.
I could be wrong. Was it 1660 or was it? Let me do some Google foo. March 14, 2019. So what was the one before that? Maybe
I think it was the 1060.
1060. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm quoting the wrong one. After a certain point, it gets really hard to keep track of all of these different components.
The keeping track of even just naming conventions can get hard.
You are right. It was a 10, I think it was a 1060. I still have it in the basement.
I mean, that's still an improvement over your 2011 MacBook.
No, it was an iMac.
The iMac. Oh my.
2011 iMac with like, goodness, I don't even remember, like 8 gigs of RAM or something, and it had like ATI Radeon graphics back when it was still ATI.
Wow.
512 megabytes of VRAM.
That's
Yeah.
huh.
And like an Intel like quad. I don't remember what was in that guy.
I think Raspberry Pis might have more compute than that at this point.
But I still have that iMac in my basement because the aluminum of that chassis has not lost value, because that thing is it was actually, I think it's the 2010 model. It's the one before they went to the slim bezel, like
so I think are those are probably milled too. So it's like one solid
chunk of aluminum. And I'm just hanging on to it because it's just like, it still looks good.
Yeah, it looks great. And you can use it as a monitor. That's fine.
That's right, you can, but it's more complicated than it should be, I guess. Because you can do it, but like you still need a keyboard hooked up to it. Like you still have to. I've done it before, and it was like, I just remember it being more trouble than it was worth.
At the time,
you know why? Because the PC still, the iMac still runs.
Yeah,
when you power it.
Yeah, so it's still using all that power.
Yeah, so it's still a PC.
Yeah,
you're just borrowing a monitor. So that's what I mean. Where it's like more trouble than it's worth. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. We got a little off topic there.
So I pulled up, there's one more laptop I wanted to talk about. So we have this Gigabyte Aorus Master 16. And I pulled this from our page here of all our 50 series laptops. So obviously the 5090 laptops we have that Asus, there's an MSI one as well. That's pretty cool. That's another 18-inch. And then this Gigabyte Aorus Master, this one actually has a 5080, and that has 16 gigabytes of GDDR7 VRAM. 32 gigs of RAM, 2 terabyte SSD. It's a 275HX, not the 285HX, but I mean, this is a rock solid combo too.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That is gorgeous.
I like it. Yeah, let me take a look here. It's got, gigabit, Wi-Fi 7, 16-inch. So, that's right. It was an OLED 240 hertz screen. That's why this one. I kind of like this one a lot. The Asus was still good. That had a good screen too. That was a mini LED. But this one's got the 240 hertz OLED 16-inch. So that's like pretty awesome too. So obviously we have a wide selection of just different 50 series laptops, and there's more to come.
Oh yeah.
I think what's special about the laptops this generation is that usually the desktop GPUs come out, and then the launch cycle for the laptop GPUs is like a lot
later and kind of sporadic.
Right.
Yeah.
Like they kind of trickle in, but now NVIDIA made more of a concentrated effort to have like all of the desktop GPUs, and then within like 3 months, or 2 months, I think.
Yeah.
All of the laptop GPUs, and just have all the 5000 series for 2025.
Yeah.
So Now you can get your hands on it. Mobile, desktop, everything in between. So lots of good
Yep,
options
desktop
there.
replacements.
I mean, literally, yeah.
That's kind of the category I would put a lot of these in.
Okay, so even this Gigabyte, this Aorus Master 16 compared to my 2010 iMac. Well, so I was doing a little bit of history because I had this Dell XPS 410,
Mhm.
and I was trying to remember what the specs were because I bought that in high school. Like I worked all summer, because I was like a busboy at this Italian restaurant, and I just saved up all my tips, and I had all this cash, and I just gave it to my mom. I was like, "Mom, how do I buy something from Dell.com?" Uh, and I bought a Dell XPS 410, and I was trying to remember what the specs were, and it was one of the first gen like duo core
Yeah.
CPUs. Um, and it was like a NVIDIA 7600 LE, I believe. Let me double check if that's the specs. I think that's the one. Yeah, 256 megabytes of VRAM. And this would have been in 2007, I think is when I got this guy. So I pulled up the page here with some specs, but this takes me back. And it had the S video.
Ooh.
The S video thing in there.
I had a Dell XPS too, like right after high school,
Hmm.
and I bought it for video editing, but I had no idea what I was doing, so I bought definitely the wrong computer for the job.
And you didn't have the one with the media interface on
Yeah,
the desktop with like
y-
all the stuff.
yeah, it came with a TV tuner in the back, so I just had a really long extension cord from my computer all the way across the room to my TV
I had a junky
or HDMI.
I had a junky old TV in my room that had an S video input, and I was able to put the S video from that to that. And like, I mean, I'm talking like this was like a 10-inch, like just my parents getting this crappy TV just so I could like watch cartoons on there. This is a very different generation than today.
Oh yeah,
But it's just kind of funny all the features that used to be on some of this older hardware. But I'm trying to remember like some of the names of like old hardware I used to use. Like I had an old Dell Dimension desktop, and I'm trying to think like what was in that thing, and just yeah, I don't know. All these parts they just escape me after a certain point, right?
I mean, yeah,
It's a lot of number to track of.
yeah,
So we talked about Nvidia for a bit.
uh-huh.
Let's pivot to AMD because I think AMD also had a pretty killer release this year.
Oh yeah,
9070 XT GPUs.
that was a super cool launch.
Also, but like performance, right? Because we got to play around with them, and performance wise, like they're rock solid.
Yeah, absolutely.
They work really, really well. What was it? 1440, some 4K, but it like pushes like into 4K pretty well.
Yeah.
I think they positioned it between, what was it? Like they were saying it was still going to fall between the 7800 XT and the 7900 XTX. Like it was going to fill that gap.
I think
Of.
that's what they had said. Yeah. Um, and then how much VRAM did that have? I can't. I think it's 16.
16 gigabytes.
And that's for both the XT and the non-XT
Yes.
variant.
They're just clocked slightly differently.
Mhm.
But they both have 16 gigabytes of VRAM. So that's actually pretty awesome as well.
Oh, yes.
I mean, A, that's a lot of VRAM.
I
B, AI.
Yeah.
If you want to do some small models like AB, I'm AB.
Oh, yeah.
No issues on 16
Uh,
gigs.
DeepSeek R1, the 14B fits on 16 gigs, no problem.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I haven't played with DeepSeek yet.
It's a lot of fun. It's really interesting to see like what it's thinking. So like when it answers, it'll just say thinking, and then you can have a drop down. I that's on Open Web UI, the interface that I use. But it's really cool to see its thought process or its thought process.
It's a predictive process.
Yeah.
Dad did a video about that. I think we just put it out earlier this week about.
Oh yeah, he had told me he did that. I just haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah, so he demonstrated like what the thought process looks like how some of that functions. It was actually kind of cool because I guess it gives you insights into sort of how it gets those answers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't played with DeepSeek yet, but
Yeah.
I mean, 16 gigabytes. I know it's GDDR6 memory, but that's still really good. And
Really
performance.
really solid raster performance. It is.
Yeah.
It is up there. I'm currently rocking is a weird word to say that. A RX 6600,
Uh-huh.
and it is definitely time for an upgrade. So I think that's probably the route I'm going to go.
What CPU do you have again? Did you have like the
I
CPU?
So I bought my computer during the shortage a couple years ago.
Uh,
So it was cheaper and easier for me to buy a refurbed pre-built from Micro Center. This is before I worked here. Uh, but at the time, it had a 2060 in it,
uh,
and it was actually cheaper for me to buy the pre-built than it would be to try to buy a 2060 outside of the store. So that's what I did. But it's got a 3700X in it.
oh wow.
So it's getting to be time. Yeah, it's
But you don't game much, right? I mean, you game some,
no,
like you don't game like a ton.
but I'm starting to have a little bit of trouble productivity wise with like Premiere.
Mhm.
I'm not sure entirely if that's on me, if I need to update my BIOS or something, but I'm getting some weird glitchiness and some crashes, but that's just Premiere, I think, really.
Yeah, Premiere's a little fidgety.
Yeah.
I I think I was talking to Kevin about this the other day because like I was talking to someone that they're asking why I switched from Premiere to DaVinci Resolve,
Yeah.
and I can count on one hand, and I started using Resolve in like 2018, 2019, and I was using it on that Dell laptop too.
Yeah.
I can count on one hand the amount of times DaVinci Resolve has crashed on me. Premiere, on the other hand,
Yeah.
and I've only ever had one project corrupt in DaVinci Resolve, and that's because I had a Blackmagic 4K. It was B-raw footage. I didn't know what I was doing. I was still learning DaVinci, and I went insane with like the color grading and the power masks, and I was trying some fusion stuff, and it just got so bogged down on that laptop that like the file just like I couldn't open it without it just going all scrambly. So I had to start the project from scratch.
Oh, that stinks.
I didn't know. It was just me playing around. Like I got some footage of like it was like food and beverage footage that I was doing as a test at home. So I was trying to do some like food videography stuff,
Yeah.
but I was just going nuts because I was trying to mask out like this lime like floating, and I didn't really know how to do it right because I was coming from like After Effects. It was just like slightly different. Uh,
Oh, yeah, you don't have to tell me. I'd love to learn DaVinci. I just haven't had the time yet.
I know
It is so much more stable.
it is so hard to switch to a new program when you
Mhm.
know one like the back of your hand.
Yeah, because when I have a bunch of work that I need to get done now,
Right.
I don't have time to learn the new way of doing it in a different program. But I do really want to learn DaVinci because it's more stable on anything, and it's also available for Linux, which I would really like to try dual booting my machine at some point, like Windows for gaming and then Linux for everything else.
Hey, Kevin, if you're going to watch this later, I'm going to put Linux on your studio PC and we're going to see how DaVinci performs.
Womp womp.
It's not a bad thing.
I know.
We should test that.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of good distros.
I'm really, really interested if you get any like performance boost or like with less stuff going on in the background, like
Yeah.
get with Windows.
Well, I think DaVinci was ported to Windows from Linux.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, I think so.
That tracks. I wouldn't be surprised. They've had a weird
I could be.
interface.
Don't take that with a grain of salt. It's been a long time since I looked at that.
Hashtag Google this. Tag check yourself.
Yeah.
Laptop, right?
Yeah, let me double check that.
That's interesting. Do you actually, on the topic of like switching programs, do you ever run into that with slicers for like 3D printing? Do you ever feel like learning a different slicing program is different? 'Cause-
Yeah, I had a lot of trouble because I used to use purely Cura before Baby Labs came out and all that. Because I just had an Ender 3 Pro, and I tried learning Prusa Slicer.
right.
And I don't know what it was about Prusa Slicer that made it really hard for me to understand where things were. But it was just really hard. Now that I've used Bamboo and
Okay.
Orca, I can get my way around Prusa Slicer pretty well. But it was really hard to learn, and I just kind of gave up, if I'm being honest.
And when was that? That was like several years back, right?
Yeah, that was like from like I got my first 3D printer in 2020. And then it's probably 2022 when I tried using Prusa. But
But
there
then between then and now, I feel like there's been so many changes in
Oh yeah.
printing.
Oh, 100%.
It's not even just like a new generation. It's like several generations. Of
Yeah, like
change.
you don't even need a Raspberry Pi anymore for most printers to be able to connect remotely.
You didn't even know you needed a Raspberry
Yeah,
Pi.
you would yeah, there was a program that you would run on it called Octoprint,
Uh-huh.
and basically, you would connect to that as a server, and then the Raspberry Pi was connected to the printer via USB.
See, I got into the game when, you guys kind of got me into it, like, year or 2 ago, and my first printer that I got was a Bamboo Lab A1 Mini, just
Yeah.
there with at home, and, like, I'm living on easy street because like, the slicer is easy for me to figure out, and this is I'm someone that doesn't really know that stuff too and I'm just learning it on the side.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's a great thing though,
yeah,
like, I see a lot of people online talking about, "Oh, it's so much easier now." Like, wouldn't you have wanted it to be easier? Did you
right,
really want to use paper to level your bed? I didn't. It was awful. You had to, like, you
right,
slide paper underneath, and then you're, like, rotating a screw slowly.
right.
No. Hard no.
That sounds awful. Yeah, I feel so spoiled, but at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know if I would have put up with that because actually my friend, it was funny. I brought him to Microcenter for the first time, and he had tried 3D printing like a decade ago or something, and he had bought, I don't even know what it was, just something. He's just like, I hate 3D printing. It's the worst thing ever. I don't know why I wasted money on this. So I brought him and I showed him the bamboo stuff. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that A1
Yeah.
because I was walking him so like that's how it was and how I like night and day.
You used to have to use, like, electronics captive tape to be your
Really?
bed because it was the best material that we had at the time, to be your bed material
Really?
if it was, like, on glass, yeah, and it got it really expensive too because captive tape is pretty expensive. Yeah.
And they have to use it for every single new print, or you
No,
use it, but
you can reuse it a bit, but eventually it'll wear out. Eventually, we moved on to, once we got better not glass beds, we used, like, blue painter's tape because it was textured and it would grip onto the plastic a little bit
right,
better.
okay.
But, man, PEI is so much better. It's so much better and easier.
Oh, speaking of PEI textured plates,
Yeah.
I've never washed my plate. Am I supposed to?
Yeah. Yeah.
They say you're supposed I've had no adhesion issue. I think I'm just
Really.
my A1, like, I printed a lot with it. I had no issues.
The
And I literally just take it off. I let it cool every time, but, like, I just take it off, scrape the stuff off, put it back, and, like, I
Wow.
think I'm just lucky.
Yeah.
And now I've jinxed myself, and I'm gonna have a whole week
That
in
makes sense.
pain.
Yeah, I've got a spray bottle of isopropyl alcohol right next to my printer, so I can wipe it down between.
'Cause I always see people saying, like, wash it with soap and water and, like, dry it off to, like,
Yeah.
clean it.
I'll do that if I have to use, like, glue, but I don't really have to use glue that often anymore, unless I'm, like, going edge to edge and then
It's funny because
peeling.
I've never used glue either. I've never
That's a good thing, you shouldn't have to, but
I've never
you do what you gotta do, you know?
I mean, I'm not going crazy about prints, and I'll show you we have some project stuff we wanna talk about in a minute, but I'm not going that crazy with it, so maybe I'm just lucky.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we were talking about AMD for a little bit, and then we got sidetracked, but with AMD, there is something else that's coming. I'm just opening a million links. Um, at CES, they were showing off the AMD, the Ryzen AI Max Plus, the 395.
Oh, that thing looks awesome.
So 16 cores, 32 threads. It's got a really great GPU, everything built in. So it could be LPDDR5X memory up to 128 gigabytes, which is insane. And so they were showing off at CES that there's a laptop that can run Black Myth Wukong on those integrated graphics,
Really?
which maybe some of you may know. Black Myth Wukong is a little tricky with
Yeah.
certain configurations.
It's not the easiest game in the world to run.
It's
They were pretty graphically intense,
very,
yeah.
very demanding because when we do the benchmark stuff on there, um, even with, like some high end setups that we do, obviously Cyberpunk is Cyberpunk. Now it's like kind of buttery smooth at this point. We have to get Indiana Jones for our bench suite. I think you get that. And what's the new Assassin's Creed?
Is that out yet? It is out. It came out just like a week or so ago. Yeah, yeah, the one in Japan.
We got to get that one. So we have to add those to our bench suite because I think Cyberpunk is kind of like maxed out at this point.
Yeah.
Black Myth Wukong is the one that kind of like really pummels hardware. I don't know if that's a dev thing. Like maybe it's not optimized well, or maybe it's optimized well, but either way,
Honestly, I am not a game dev, and this is not game dev advice.
right.
Kind of.
The fact that you can run it on this device with integrated graphics. So we are getting the ROG Flow Z13. So that will have the AI Max Plus 395. So we will have that available. It's a 2-in-1. It's not on the site yet. It's going to be in the near future, but it is coming soon. And this product has already been announced at CES.
Yeah.
But this one's going to be pretty awesome. So we're definitely going to have a video about this when it does come to microcenter. So stay tuned and we will let you know when that hits stores, but real soon.
Yeah.
That one's going to be really exciting. And then the last thing I do want to talk about for releases, talked about NVIDIA, talked about AMD, Intel.
They make a pretty compelling GPU nowadays,
And
especially for the low end. Like you get great transcoding, way better DirectX support, and people are gaming on them no problem. I haven't heard anybody complain about them at all.
580, 570. We played with them, and we played some other games too. Like, I'm surprised at how good it is. Oh, you know, that was the build that we did. You can watch this video, and what we did was we paired it with a 9600X, and it was a bundle we had at the time. Cut that.
Yeah. We don't want to talk about old.
I don't want to talk about that at all, actually. Cut that. But the Intel B580, the Intel B570, both performing really, really well. I mean, even some Fortune 40 gaming. I was doing Helldivers 2 on the B580 at 1440, and I was actually getting a really good frame rate. I got to look back at the video to remember, but I remember it being like in the high 70s, 80s, maybe 90s.
Yeah.
At 1440, which was really impressive.
So like being able to game at 1440 is awesome, but like for $250, although I don't know if the price is going to change, so let's cut that part.
Yeah.
But for the price, this is a super solid high frame rate 1080p card. It's like if you're playing stuff that you really need to have those high frame rates,
Right.
heck yeah.
But you have to make sure has to be with the CPU with resizable bar. That's one of the important bits there.
And well, I think most modern GPUs you have you don't have to, but it's really you should.
It's a lot better if you do.
Yeah.
But I know with these you have to have that enabled.
Yeah.
So like that's the trick. Like, yeah, it's a budget GPU, but you would still need a somewhat newer system in order to take advantage of that performance that you're getting at that price.
That's fair.
So that is one thing to keep in mind. But yeah, I was really happy with Intel's GPUs. I mean, now you have 3 flavors of GPUs this year. Basically all good performers, all at different price points across the board.
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of configurations available. So I think that's a really cool thing.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pull this up right now. Do you have the link for the Steam hardware survey? Because I want to talk about something kind of fun.
I can look it up real quick. Steam hardware survey.
See if I can get this to load.
I always find it interesting how many players are still at 1080p, which is awesome.
I don't think that's going to go away.
I don't think so, because the price to performance for 1080p is just incredible.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up the Steam hardware survey, and we can take a look at that. So this is for March 2025. Here we are a couple of days in April. So this should be for last month, right? Because they usually post it at the beginning of the following month.
Yes.
So this is kind of what the average gamer is playing on PC. So Windows 11, 64-bit. I mean, obviously, most everyone's on Windows 11 at this point. And speaking of which, Windows 10 sunset later this year is happening. Yeah. So that 55% of gamers actually jumped up 11%. People on Windows 11, that jumped up 11%.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, with the sunset coming.
End of service coming later this year.
Right. 16 gigabytes of memory is the average, 44% of users.
Which makes perfect sense.
And it says Intel CPU speeds. So it doesn't even say CPU speeds. It says Intel CPU speeds.
I'm not sure why it says that.
Do they default to Intel? That's interesting. Physical CPUs, 6 CPUs. So I guess that's how many cores.
Like non-multi-threaded. So even if it's multi-threaded, it's each core.
Right.
So on average, people have 6 cores.
Right. And then You know what? It was the 4060 last month on the last hardware survey.
Was it really?
Now it's the 3060.
I wonder.
That's what I have showing up here, right? 4.94% is the 3060.
Oh yeah, because the 4060 went down 3.77%.
That's interesting. So there's a jump in 4060 laptops. There's a jump in 1650s. Heyo. There's a jump in 1060s. 1060 gang rise up.
Still going strong.
My old Dell is still. And then they have Intel Xe graphics, 1.96%.
A
Intel UHD graphics. It's not just integrated graphics.
I think that's their older integrated graphics. The XE is also integrated.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I think.
And then their AMD stuff, they always list out on these surveys kind of funky because they're all kind of all over the place. I wonder where the 9070 is. Let me see if I can pull it up on a search. No, it doesn't even show. Interesting. I see the 7900 XTX.
Yeah, I don't know if the 9070 is going to show up in this just yet.
Right.
Because that was last month, but I don't know how long it takes for them to like show up in the survey. You know?
These are like sample sizes, right? Because I know I get the hardware survey every once in a while and I just hit yes, but like they don't do everyone.
Yeah, it's not everybody every month.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting. 8 gigs of VRAM, that's still the norm for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
6 gigs of VRAM, that seems to be the second highest. Only 2.43% of people have 24 gigabytes of VRAM. So all of this is, and then 1920 by 1080 still the default.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised. It looks like 1440p went down almost 11%.
That's interesting.
That is crazy.
Why would it go down? That seems like it went down a lot.
Yeah. Maybe just a different sample size or a
The other
different
ones went up.
sample.
Yeah, I'm not a statistician, so I can't
Yeah.
tell you why. But all of this is to say, okay, so we have a Steam hardware survey up, right? Right now I have the microcenter custom PC builder pull up. Ooh, let's build the most average Steam hardware survey PC that we can make, right?
Okay.
So starting with the CPU, we have to find a 6-core CPU. Actually, I wonder, can I just select how many cores?
I don't know. I don't know if that's a filter on ours builder. Let me find out. I'm gonna go along. I'm gonna tag along with you on this journey.
So you could do by cache, you could do thermal power, integrated graphics. What if I just type in 6? What happens if I type in 6? Oh, okay. All right. I got an Intel Core i5 12400K. Or no, sorry. I got an Intel Core i5 12400 6-core.
Seems like it's on the average list.
Let's do it. All right. So that's $129.
Okay.
Compatible motherboards. Let's find something. Let's find something affordable. I'm thinking, I mean, right off the bat, they have this. Did the camera do something?
No,
I
I think
heard.
I think that was the pump on.
No, I heard something make noise out there. I thought someone was out the door.
Oh,
Never mind. Oh no! We don't have any LGA 1700 CPUs or motherboards.
what?
It won't let me filter by LGA 1700 because that's what the CPU is.
Oh, because it's already filtered. All the motherboards after you select a CPU should fit.
So then why are all the motherboards I'm seeing AMD motherboards?
I don't know.
We might cut this segment.
Yeah, that shouldn't be
We might
like
cut
that.
this segment.
Yeah, what the world?
Oh wait, why am I going to go? Hold on, because I can do. Here we go, 7600X.
Okay.
All right, so for 6 core CPU, Adam, we're going to pick up from here. All right, so 6 core CPU, Adam, we're going to pick up from here. All right, so 6 core CPU, 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 6 core CPU the average CPU has 6 cores, right?
Mhm.
So I see Ryzen 5 7600X for 189. Oh, Ryzen 5 9600X, 6 core, 199. Let's do that.
That's pretty good, yeah, for $10 more.
Yeah. So then for motherboard, what do we have? Gigabyte B650 for 199. Yeah, because it's not going to say anything about motherboards, right? There's nothing
No.
on here, so we can just do anything for the motherboard. Asus B650E Tough Gaming Wi-Fi. Let's do that one because it's
Yeah.
189.
Yeah, and Wi-Fi is a pretty important feature for a lot of people. Not everybody has Ethernet running through their walls.
Right. Okay, so 16 gigabytes is the average
Yep.
RAM.
So 16 gigs of what? Probably 5400 DDR5?
Wait, but do they even make 8 gig sticks of DDR5?
I don't know.
I don't think we have any because we have a lot of like single sticks, 16 gigs, but like you can't do single stick with this. You have to do
You have to do 2.
2. Huh, that's funny. Wait, hold on. Do they make 8 gig of Crucial has one? No, but that's a SODIMM.
Let me just see
Denver
here.
has one. Hold on.
Memory speed, capacity. Yeah, we have a crucial one. DDR5 4800.
Can you send me the SKU for that?
Yep.
You just say the number.
Oh yeah. It is 343426. And I accidentally
go.
closed out of my builder, so I'm no longer on this journey. I'll just
That's okay. We're still on my laptop.
Oh,
The
okay,
whole
good.
time. All right. So Crucial 16 gigabyte, 2 8 gig sticks for $54.99. And this is the most average Steam hardware.
Yeah.
So video card is a 3060. Interesting. So let's see if I have a couple of 3060s. There's an Asus. There's an MSI. Yeah, let's go with the MSI. So oh, interesting. But the 3060, the VRAM is 12 gigs, but it also says the average VRAM is 8 gigabytes.
Well, there were 2 revisions.
Right.
So the first
Right.
version of it had 8 gigs.
These are all the second revision.
Yeah.
We don't have the first revision anymore.
Yeah. So
Do I do a 4060?
I think at the very least we should do something that has 8 gigs of VRAM.
Right. What do you think is the sticking point? The capacity or the actual card? I feel like the capacity,
The
right?
capacity, likely.
All right. So let's do a 4060. So for 4060, I'm going to keep things low. Let's go with the Gigabyte NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4060. That's going to be 8 gigs of VRAM and total hard drive space above 1 terabyte. 53% of people.
So I'm gonna guess that that's 2 terabytes, or maybe a 1 terabyte drive and like a 250 or something.
Because 750 to 999 gigabytes is 20% of users, and above 1 terabyte is 53% of users.
Yeah.
But is 1 terabyte above 1 terabyte? I know it says 999, but like doesn't.
Yeah, it's a fine line, I think. That whole gigabyte is really it's messing with us.
I'm being serious though, because like the way you measure it, right? Because isn't like 1 terabyte above 999 technically? Yeah, how are they measuring that? Or
I don't know.
on the actual like.
It's probably 1 terabyte and above, but they just didn't type it that way.
Well, what should I put? Should I put a 2 terabyte or a 1 terabyte then?
I'd say just a 1 terabyte.
I think 1 terabyte's fair. Right?
Yeah.
Let's see, capacity. Because our website says 1 terabyte to 1.9 terabytes. See, that's clear, right?
Yeah.
Because this says 750 to 999 and the above 1.
And then above 1.
But like, is the 1 above 1? I don't know. Let us know in the comments. Maybe I'm just being silly. All right, let's see. We got a Samsung 990 Evo inland. Yeah, let's go inland actually. No, Crucial. Let's do Crucial P3 Gen
That's a
4,
solid drive.
4x4. Let's do it. Now, it's not going to say anything for case, but I'm thinking case Land Cool 207. Boom.
Yeah.
That one's like rock solid. Keep it simple. I mean, cooler with the 9600X Air.
Yeah. Like a Peerless Assassin or something would be perfect.
Let's see. Thermalright Assassin X120.
Yeah.
$24.99.
That's a pretty solid.
Or I could save $5 and go with the Cooler Master Hyper 212. And it has RGB.
I mean, you're saving money and you're getting RGB. I feel like that's probably the way to go.
$5.
Yeah.
It's going to go a long way. And wattage, we only need 280 watts for this. We did pick a GPU. Okay. So what do you think? 500 watt power supply? Or should we just go a little higher?
I would go a little bit higher. Yeah. Maybe a little bit higher and then make sure it's gold.
You know what? I'll do rating 80 plus gold for blah, 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 blah. We have a semi-modular power spec for $79.99.
Okay.
Or we can go modular for $84.99. So
Well,
that $5 we saved on the cooler.
That's going towards honestly, that's going towards cable management is what it's going towards.
Right. Because that's going to make your life a little bit easier, keeping the modular. I have nothing against semi-modular. Honestly, like I've used both. I think modular's better aesthetically if you're trying to manage everything and make it look nice. But semi-modular is fine. It's fully functional. It works just
fully functional.
80 plus gold.
It supplies power. It does what it's supposed to.
All right. So do you want to take a guess? Because he doesn't have the screen up in front of him.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to take a guess? How much does the average Steam hardware survey of March 2025, how much does that PC cost at microcenter?
I'm going to guess 900.
A little bit
higher.
Close. 1,025. 1,025, which is not bad.
No, that's not bad.
This is, again, a 9600X with 16 gigabytes of memory, but that's 2 8 gig sticks. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
It has that RTX 4060 with 8 gigabytes of VRAM. You got a 1 terabyte SSD. Frankly, you could have gone with a 2 terabyte for just a little bit more, and that's a lot of games that you can.
Oh, yeah.
But this is going to run rock solid.
Yeah, and there's a great upgrade path there too. You can do AM5, and I think AMD is saying that they're going to support that for another 5 years.
2027? They said they were going to support it through.
I just want to double check myself.
2027 was the day I had in my brain for
yeah, all the way through 2027. Which, heck yeah,
okay,
I told it a couple of years at least.
I mean, 9000 series just came out, right?
Yeah,
your 9800X 3Ds and your 9600Xs and all that. You're guaranteed at least one more generation of AMD upgrade, at least in the time frame. Maybe two.
Because they could always use it for longer. They're just guaranteeing at least through 2027.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's an upgrade path there. And GPU's easy upgrade path.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the power supply, that 650 watt that we put in there, maybe limiting you a little bit. But, again, for that price, it's not bad.
No.
I mean, that is the most average Steam hardware survey PC build that you can get at Micro Center.
Yeah.
Cool. That's actually kind of fun.
Do you want to see something that's not so average?
Sure.
So I have been wanting a rack for a very long time, but it's a small house. I don't have a lot of room.
Right.
And 19-inch racks are pretty big. So I decided to build my own out of aluminum extrusion. So I have it's a one-of-a-kind 300 millimeter rack. So
okay.
So I did that so that I could fit the laptops that I'm currently using as home servers and another computer that I got off of Facebook Marketplace. I'm just trying to piecemeal this together so I can learn more than anything at this point.
Right.
But I went a little overboard, and it has wheels and a whole SBC shelf.
Let me see.
Yeah, hang
Yeah.
on one second.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
the SBC oh, that's the whole thing. That's my main server there in the middle.
Right.
I'll show whoever the editor is which one to circle. Uh, but the thing that I wanted to show you is the SBCs slide in and out on that shelf. So up here, and then
Oh,
you
look at
can
that.
move them out individually.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. My
So did you design all of those?
oh yeah. Yeah, 100%. And then I also I copied the IKEA Scatus design so that I could put all of my power bricks on the side.
Speaking of which, okay.
Ah,
This is what we're talking about when we talk about the Scatus. We are obsessed
big
with
fans.
these.
Yeah.
Like, I think the 3D printing community in general is really obsessed with these because they're really easy to use.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Pegboards, they're like pegs, but this, you design hooks and it
It
hangs.
slides down.
So it's actually easier to design things to hang on it, and it can support a good amount of weight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got 2 access points and 3 power bricks hanging off of mine and like a channel for cables.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I heard that you had some
So-
really fun maker projects going on.
A couple of fun projects I've been working on in my space as well. I'm going to move my laptop for this one.
All
All right, so check this out. I'm going to go grab it. I've got a pile of cables. I've got this. Cool.
Is that a net?
Every good reveal starts with a pile of cables.
Oh, yeah.
Check it out. All right, so it's a work in progress. I'm not done yet.
Okay.
I'm done. But the idea is this is going to mount on my wall. I'm going to take the feet off because I'm just working at it now. This is the NES Classic, the mini NES Classic with all the pre-built
Oh, yeah.
like games. So I picked up one of those, and I've been 3D printing all of these like fun little like Mario themed accessories. And look, I've got a little Mario.
Oh, that's adorable.
So
I really like that. Yeah.
I don't like the colorways of this one. I'm gonna buy a different filament to match the original 8-bit colors a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was just like a test print.
That's super cool.
This guy I actually modeled in Tinkercad myself. I've never
Oh, heck yeah.
I've never made anything before. So this is a plate over an old field monitor that I had forever ago.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make it look like a vintage TV. And so when I power on the NES, it has a CRT filter. So it looks like a vintage television. And it's got these little dials that I made. It has these little like knobs and buttons. It has like a little grate here. So
Oh, like it's actually venting air.
so I'm gonna fix this up a little bit. It's held together with tape. This is a prototype.
Yeah.
And all prototypes are just
It's held together with tape.
But I'm gonna make a housing for this where the field monitor can kind of live in there.
Uh-huh.
You have the HDMI, the power, and I'm going to reroute all these cables through the back.
Ooh, you know what actually might be cool? So this cable channel that I printed for all my cables in my thing, what if you put that in the green of the pipe directly below the pipe? So the cables are running through the pipe.
I can make it green like the vine
Yeah.
climbs up on the thing.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That actually kind of neat because I do have some coiled cables. This is the HDMI cable I'm using, but it's blue. Maybe I can make a green one. And then the other project I'm working on, I'm gonna grab it. I have my microcenter tote bag.
I like
those to carry around my projects.
That's what I do.
So do you recognize this?
Yeah.
It's the same portable
The
as
same,
I had.
yeah.
I bought one for myself because these are like, I think $68 or something like that. These are cheap and these are really good portable monitors.
Yeah.
So what I'm making is, this is another prototype
Okay.
held together with tape. So this is an asteroid from Unreal Tournament.
Like the original Unreal Tournament?
The original Unreal Tournament. So it's in pieces right now.
That's awesome.
So then these sit on here. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to piece everything together.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll make like the floating asteroid from the Capture the Flag CTF face.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a miniature one that I keep in the studio that I made. So
Yeah.
it's like a solid color version. But this is scaled up. So I'm trying to make a larger version. And what I want to do is I want to make a shadow box, like a digital shadow box,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm going to have like the planet Earth and space and stuff from the game spinning in the background. So it looks like the real map.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I printed this, but this is too big.
Yeah.
Printed this first, and then I bought the monitor.
Oh, and then, yeah, the measurements
I
didn't
think,
quite
like,
line up.
maybe this is the right size, so I'm gonna scale this down, like, maybe another 30% so it looks proportionate, and then what I'm doing is I'm working on a frame that I can assemble and put
Mhm.
together with, like, some N2 screws. So I'm going to attach the frame to this and
Oh,
a shadow box that the little asteroid can sit in, right? And it's gonna cover the whole area,
that's gonna look awesome.
and then I could just wall mount this and just have
Yeah. You could probably, run the whole thing off since it's just one video file, you could probably run it off of, like, a Pi Zero.
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Because it's just yeah, get, like, something like that. I can mount it on the back because I have space for it here.
Yeah. Plenty.
And Visa mount,
Yeah.
so I could print something that'll just, like, attach to the wall somehow.
Mhm.
I mean, it's still a work in progress. I got a lot to figure out, but
But it's really cool.
we're always kind of tinkering on these random projects
Yeah.
in between everything else.
You'd be surprised how often, personal projects inform videos that we do.
It's true. But it's kinda nice. At home, we have the freedom to sort of just play around and mess with things,
Just
and then it's like,
explore.
I discovered something kinda new, and I think that's a good angle for, like, a new video, and I'll
Oh, yeah.
try it, and it'll work.
Yeah. Because at home, you can break stuff if you want.
Let's see. This is, like, the 3rd iteration of this, like, square I've made because I ripped off the IKEA design with, like, these holes,
Oh, yeah, with the locking,
locking mechanism, so I can put the screws in and put the hex nut and lock them together, so it'll make, like, a whole frame. I'm gonna make one more version because now that we have a bigger printer coming soon, that H2D,
Yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I'm thinking about getting one of those. I know. It's a little pricey, but it's really good.
Really good.
It's gonna be a really awesome
Especially the one with the laser. I could clear out some space because
laser. Do you need a laser?
I have a laser.
Why?
Fun? I don't know.
Wait, what's the wattage on your laser?
I think it's a 20 watt. It's a diode laser. So it's
What's the one that we have in the Maker Lab? 60 watt? 40 watt?
that is a CO2 laser, and I think it is a 60 watt.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah.
So not quite metal though, right?
No, 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 no. You need a fiber laser for stuff like that.
Okay.
It's a different wavelength of light entirely.
So we do have lasers at Microcenter as well.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for those. And so I think that's kind of wrapping it up for today's podcast.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, why don't you guys send us some ideas of what you would like us to cover? I mean,
Oh yeah.
ideas for videos. Are there builds you would like to see us do? Specific configurations, CPUs, motherboards, GPUs, anything like that?
Oh yeah.
Maker projects.
Maker projects.
This guy really likes doing
I
maker
love
projects.
projects.
I like that yours is a lot cleaner and cohesive than mine. Mine is like,
Well, to be fair, this did take me months. Like,
this is me chipping away here and there, and then it's a lot of gaff tape.
a lot of gaff tape.
But if you have ideas for maker projects or anything else that you would love to see, just let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, we'll try to get around to it.
Well, thanks for staying tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one.